and we are lucky enough to have Peter from Team Poland, the captain of Team Poland, and a phenomenal Age of Sigmar player on. Hello, how are you? You doing well?
Hello, yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good. I mean, we're coming off the back of two great interviews, Team Austria and Team Serbia. Who are your opponents in the first round?
Team Serbia are our opponents in the first round.
Yes, yeah, we interviewed them
Yeah,
first. Sorry, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Are you excited about that match?
Yeah, sure. I think like every match at the Worlds is like really difficult, so every match is like a huge challenge, so we are
Okay.
looking forward to it, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, it's lovely to have you on the show. You are the captain for Team Poland, right?
Yes.
You are the captain. You've been the captain for quite a few years. When did you take over as the
Like
captaincy?
actually it's like a second year or like in fact it's a third year, but we skipped the COVID one,
Yeah.
etc, so yeah.
Okay, so 3 years. Was there
Yes.
a captain before? Was there even a team before that?
Yeah, we had a team at the first like etc. I think it was like 2018. But it was like the different captain back then, so
Oh, okay. All right, good. As a
yeah, it
team,
was like the first Age of Sigmar like team competition, like back in 2018, I think.
yes, it
Yeah.
was. It was. Okay, well, really excited to have you on. Thanks very much. What's it like being the captain in Team Poland? What's the team like? How has been getting the team together this year been?
Yeah, it's like this year has been like quite difficult actually,
Oh,
because we have like yeah, really like big community, but not a lot of like people like wanted to attend like international tournaments, etc. So it was quite a challenge actually, because like a lot of our like good players like drop out, just stopped playing because of like some personal reasons or like other reasons. So we had like smaller pool of players to choose from.
you have a lot of team tournaments in Poland anyway, normally, right?
Yeah, like that was our idea as our like the Polish league, to have as we could, to have like as much team tournaments as we could basically. So like in the last like 12 months we have like 4 team tournaments, and we are like looking to like even expand this even further like in the future. So
Oh, awesome. Okay, so first off, could you tell us all about like Age of Sigmar in Poland? Like, how many players are there? What tournaments are there like? Like, what's the community like? Tell us loads. Like, lots of us would like to know and get like an insight into the Polish scene.
yeah, we have like I think we have like the awesome community. There are like a lot of players who like playing competitive wise, a lot of players who like the hobby as well, who bring like beautiful armies to tournaments. I think our biggest tournaments like are over like 100 players, and they are basically all like Polish players. But we had like a lot of like guests from the other countries as well. I think like Ronia attended our like national team championship in January, so we had a lot of visitors as well from the Czech Republic. Like James Tinsdale was playing in a few tournaments as well. So we had like a lot of players, like a lot of new players. So I think the Age of Sigmar is like really booming in Poland, because we started like I think during like the first General's Handbook there were like 15 players during the tournaments, and now like todayers are between like 60 to 100 players. So
Wow.
uh, yeah, that's a lot. And also some of the tournaments have a cap for attendees, so usually there are like more people like willing to play than there is like the room and space for them. So that's big as well. And we have like todayer every month in different parts of Poland, so that's a lot of like tournaments in Poland, and a lot of
Amazing.
like smaller communities have like one dayer. So basically there is like one dayer like every week, like in some part of Poland. So
That's
here when
fantastic.
I live, yeah, here when I live in Warsaw, we have like basically one dayer every month, or even 2 dayers every month, and yeah, and there is like the 2 dayer once a month, like basically somewhere in the Poland.
Do lots of the events happen in Polish? Like that. That's generally the consensus, or is there like at the larger events? Is there like some international visitors come and play in Polish, or like what's that like?
like all of us use like English rules anyway. So
Oh,
we speak in Polish, but we use all the like names and all the rules basically in English. So that's the way we do this like in Poland. So we use the English version, and all like majority of us like speak like English good enough to like communicate. So that wasn't even like the barrier for us to like go and play like abroad, etc. So
but that also means if a bunch of people who are listening to this are excited about coming over to Poland to play, that they can also come over and play pretty
yeah,
competently.
definitely like we play like with English rules. Like I know that there was like the back in the past when there was still like Warhammer Fantasy battles,
Yeah.
there were like the Polish rules, and we had like the Polish translations, but nobody used them anyway. So
I didn't know that. That's something I didn't know. Okay,
yeah,
that's
we even had like we have the army books in Polish and etc. But nobody wanted to use them, so I think that was scrapped like really fast. Yeah.
so they are no longer do they no longer do the Age of Sigmar rules in Polish?
I think the like core rules are in Polish though. I think they are. I don't know for sure. But no, the battle tomes. Like battle tomes are. We don't have like Polish translation anyway.
All right. Okay. Perfect. All right. That's good. That's useful. Okay. Great. All right. So let's talk about getting the team together. So you did great last year. You came fifth, which is great. You guys got me super excited about that. Like, oh, are you happy with last year's performance?
Not really. Like
Oh,
being honest, we thought like the fifth place were a little bit of lucky for us. Because we weren't satisfied with our like performance on like many levels, like the pairing, the army list, etc., the performance of certain players. So I think we can do like much better like this year. For sure, we can be like more satisfied with like our level of play, because I thought last year it wasn't like good enough. So
what lessons did you learn from last year to this year? Like, what do you think like lessons you learned from last year?
I think the most important lesson was to like know all the armies of our opponents really well, because some of our players like struggle with this last year.
Hmm.
So for example, our like Stormcast player didn't know basically how Glotkin worked, because like he never played against Glotkin.
Yeah.
So like analyzing all the army lists and how they work, like we did like much better job this year even now. So for sure we are like much better prepared for this.
That's good. That's good. Has that preparation taken a lot of time?
Yeah, we have been preparing for the last like few months. We have our like team chosen like very late, because like basically like last month or 2 months ago,
Mm.
because that's how our like league works. So uh,
Tell us
that
about that. How do you pick a team?
basically the coach or the captain or whatever, like the people who choose the team are chosen like at the end of our season, and our season basically ends like I think it ends like in January. So like I think we changed it now, but it used to end in January, so that was like quite a stretch, because the words are like in April, and the general's handbook like is being like changed every summer.
Mm.
So we are like not really up to date with the players, etc. So we have I think the top 50 players choose the team selector, and then we select the players from all the players who play in our like league, etc. So basically, me as a captain and our co-captain and the second captain, because we have like two players to choose the team this year. We choose from the whole pool of players. So we are not obliged to take this player or another. We can choose basically whoever we want. But basically we choose from the players who have the best results with each army. So that's our like how we choose them basically. So we take the player, and we take into consideration what army he plays, if he plays like different armies or if he sticks to one army, because if we have like two great players but they play only one army,
Mm.
it's sometimes hard to change to another build or another list, because it takes like a lot of time if you like really accustomed to one build or one army.
Yes, yeah. Playstyle is also a significant difference as well, isn't it? Some people play one playstyle very, very well, and it's hard to swap that playstyle.
Yeah, exactly. So we take all of this into consideration to take the players. Also, you need to be like committed to do like a lot of like different builds and different like play styles, etc. Because sometimes someone got to sacrifice to play like the list maybe like he or she doesn't like, but that's what the team needs. So we also take this into consideration if like players are willing to basically start with like new army or new build and play it like basically from scratch. And also like the meta changes so fast that's like it's hard to grasp the ideal moment to like pick players as well.
That's true. That's true. Like even to the beginning of this year, like there's been a lot of books out, and that's changed up stuff significantly, right?
Yeah, and even if for example like Bone Reapers or Vampires were in, they aren't, but if they were in, it changes like the whole like team composition like completely.
Yeah, very significant. Yeah, because those are pretty strong books. Okay, so tell us about who is in the team. Who is in the team? What do they play? What are they like as people?
Yeah, so like I will start like with my co-captain. So Camille is playing Blaze of Corn,
Mm,
and it's just the example of the player who just started to play this army.
mm.
So he never played the Blaze of Corn before, and we basically decided to run this army. So he got to play test it and choose the list like within a few weeks, and now he's like playing a lot of games to get it ready for the worlds. So I think we'll play like 30 or 40 games between like being chosen as the corn player and the worlds.
Wow.
So yeah, and that's only, and it's the only like multi-drop army in our like team because we have like only one drop armies.
Mm.
So the corn is basically the only army that is like above like one drop. Then we have Mateusz. Mateusz is like our great player who used to play like Slaanesh with Belacor. Uh, and he had like the great results at the Worlds last year with Slaanesh. So I think we were the only like team that took like Slaanesh.
You
And
were, I remember.
yeah, yeah, and he was like amazing with them. He's playing like another like kind of meta army because he's taking like Idone Dipkin.
Mm. Oh wow.
Yeah, he loves them and he has like great results with Idon and Dipkin. So that's like I think we'll do like really well with them because
Okay.
we think that they have like a lot of great matchups and people are not really prepared to play versus Dipkin because they are not very like popular army. So
They're not. They're not. I think there's one Deepkin, two Deepkin, one Deepkin. I think
yeah,
at the
so
event.
if it's one Dipkin then it's ours. So
Okay, that's amazing. That's cool.
yeah, then we have Kuba, our Lumine Flermon player. So he's like kind of like also one of our best players, one of like the three that has like the most like 5-0 wins this year, etc. So he's playing like the Helon list. He was with us like last year as well.
Mm.
Because we changed like a lot of like players in the team. I think only 3 players remain from the last year team. So it's
Oh
me,
wow.
Mateusz, and Kuba. Yeah, I think that's like
Has it been difficult building that team up? With a bunch of new players. Has some of them not got any like international experience, and like you've been having to like train them up?
yeah, sure, that was a challenge, but we wanted to be sure that like all the players that are going to Worlds are like 100% committed to
Mm.
playing the Worlds and to like playing like a lot of lists. So for example, our another player, uh, Mariusz, who is playing Caradron, basically he played like I think 4 different lists because he started like with playtesting the Nurgle, then um, he was playing the Fire Slayers a lot, and then he switched to like Caradron Overlords, and those are armies he doesn't even normally play. So it was a challenge for him to do like a lot of different lists, a lot of different armies, because we basically before the Caradron Overlords like new book, we were committed to Fire Slayers, and then we changed to Caradrons. So he got to change the army as well. So it was like a lot of stuff, but he was really great about this, like basically playing whatever we wanted him
Okay.
And the same goes to our like Slaves of Darkness player, Damian. We knew we wanted like to have like Slaves of Darkness, but he played like so many different lists, so we got a lot of like a lot of input from him, how each army plays and what we want in the team. We were thinking about having Bella Cord, and we scrapped it, and we run like pretty standard like Varangard lists. I think there are like a few of them, but he played like a lot, and he plays like a lot of games, so that was also what's important for us, to have the people who can like put a lot of games in. So and he was the guy who I played with at like 2 team tournaments, so he was like really like, we built him up to like succeed on the like the bigger and bigger scene.
Mm.
So we think he will do like really good.
Okay, that's great. Okay, good. And who else is in the team?
Yeah, so we have like great disciples of Singe player Camille.
Mm.
He's playing like Guild of Summoners, so also a lot of changes.
Mm.
He used to play like the pinks, like he hates it, but that's the way. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I think he was playing like the host D, so like Guild of Summoners is like more relaxing, I think, because like host D is basically to like target something with like pinks and like just roll the dice. So it takes like a lot of time and stuff. But he was also like willing to play through like a lot of options, a lot of lists. We have one with like the Chosens, we have the ones like in host D with like 30 pinks. So like a lot of changes with armies. Then there is like the Shimon, our like Gitz player. He was basically playing Daughters of Cain, and he switched to like Gloomspite Gitz just because like Gloomspite are like super like powerful.
Yes.
So we also had like a lot of like changes about how to approach this like Gloomspite lists, etc. So he was like chosen to do so, and he did like also like awesome job like playing this army a lot, playing them at team tournaments and single tournaments. So I think he's like well prepared. So
That's good. That's good. Sinch is an army you have to prepare a lot to play, and very popular at the event.
Singe.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because they're like very powerful. Like in certain matchups, they are like really good.
Mm.
Some armies like can deal with like 20, 30 pinks, and then I think the Guild of Summoners give them like a lot of flexibility with like summoning,
Mm.
so they can summon like a lot of stuff quite easily and quite fast. So even if someone goes through the pinks, there's like a lot of summoning points to choose to whatever to summon another like Lord of Change or something.
Mm.
But it's that it just like more wounds on the table, and that's why like that's how it is. Like if you can like summon a lot of wounds, it really helps you. So
Yeah, it seems like they're super popular, which I personally think is quite interesting. But I guess they struggle to lose points. They score a lot of points, even if they lose the matchup eventually. They still score a lot of points, right?
yeah, because it's like so hard to outscore them. Like that's the thing with like all these like multi wounds armies that are like quite resilient. Like for example, like a lot of zombies, it's also like so hard to outscore them. It was the case last year, and it's the case like this year as well.
Yeah,
Because with like I think with the change to like General's Handbook, we have no like how are they called?
bounty
Like
hunters.
yeah, without bounty hunters, it's like so hard to like basically go through them like fast enough to score like a lot of points. I can't imagine like losing with like zombies or Singe like 20-0 or something. And someone if you and sometimes if you can go this like 12, if you can lose, but it's like you get like 8 or 7 points, like it's suddenly like good enough if you
Yes.
have like other pairings well. So that's how like the team dynamics come into play, like because you don't have to win all the games. Basically, even to cap, you need like some wins, some big wins, and then you basically can lose some games like big. So
Yeah, as long as you don't ever lose big, you're in a good position.
yeah, exactly. So that's why like I think like that Singe is like really like powerful because Singe is like it's possible to win like 20 with Singe like quite easily if you can like because you can deny some battle tactics, you can like score like points for the like 5 rounds. So and then if Singe is losing, it's not losing like much.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. It's an interesting one each, definitely. Okay, so who else is in the team? Who else have we got left? Anyone else?
I think that's all.
Oh, that's all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fun. So fifth last year, and this year you want to do better than that, as you said. So who do you think? Who are the teams to beat this year? Do you think?
Like obviously, like the UK is the team to build. They have never like lost so in like Worlds on any other competition. So definitely they're like the team to beat.
Mm.
I think another one is like the Denmark because they won like a ETC
Mm-hmm.
once. So I think they are like the best from the or other teams because they have been basically they have been there. They won against like France and USA. Also very strong team like every year. So I
Mm.
think those plus Sweden are like the top 5 to beat because all of them are like ultra like competitive players, like players who had like tons of experience, not only in their like country but also like in international tournaments.
Mm.
Because I think all of them have played like a lot of international tournaments as well, and that's like it's very important because like some people like are stressed of not playing like against other players. It's like playing out of your like comfort zone. So it's like it's very important to have that experience, and all of those teams has that basically.
Okay, yeah, they do. They do. I mean, last year, like obviously England won pretty convincingly. A lot of the conversation was around the fact that they paired really well into the battle plans versus pairing really well into the actual like matchups, if that makes sense. Like, so is that something you've taken that lesson on board? Do you think? Do you think a lot of times, like, 'cause that was, I think that gave them a lot of the edge last year. Well, that's what a lot of the chat was about. That they did really well on the missions. Is that something a lot of the teams, or your team at least, have taken on board?
Yeah, sure. Like we always like look at the missions because the missions like play so differently. Like some matchups could be like close to auto wins or like auto lose sometimes, depending on the mission. For example, like even my army, Daughters of Cain, I can play, for example, against like the Caradrons if we are like close to each other,
Mm.
as I have like one drop. But if we playing the missions where we can be like far away, I basically can't play against them. So we look into this a lot, like not only choosing the army, but I think it's more important to like do the pairings like really good, like depending on the mission, etc. That's a lot of like stuff like really changes depending even on the terrain. So if you have like the board that has a lot of like impossible terrains,
Mm.
some like armies like for example Iron Jaws are basically in like worse position like right away because they can feed their models like quite well. I played the Iron Jaws last year, and they like the board was loaded with terrain, so he had like the problem like moving like more crushes like anywhere, which made like the matchup for me like really easy. So the like I think that's the most important like combination, the pairings and the mission, because if like I said, like some matchups like changes drastically depending on the mission the particular armies have to play.
Yeah, how do you feel about the because there's maps this year? Like, do you feel confident about the maps? The maps are done well. Like, you keen for those? Like,
Yeah, we like I think that like the Age of Sigmar should be played with like a lot of terrain
yeah.
because it changes like a lot of stuff. It changes how the people approach like the movement phase, shooting phase, even piling. Like obviously like the armies that have like flyers have easier time, but that's the advantage that like flying units should have like basically. So I think the maps are really fair and like a lot of and it changes like the dynamic of the game a lot. Like if the terrain is like if there is like a lot of terrain, it like changes stuff.
Yeah, I think the terrain looks like it's been done really well this year, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, even like the shooting, like shooting is not so like oppressive if you have like a lot of terrain,
Mm.
because you can hide like small heroes. Of course we are like in this season when it doesn't matter that much, but like still you have like named small heroes that you can hide or you can hide, so it changes like a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and you would know really well because obviously you do like you play a lot of shooting armies, or like you sometimes pivot into shooting armies. Got a question in the chat from Tom because last year you went 6-0 on a personal level. So you did super
Yep.
well last year. Congratulations. Are you looking to repeat that performance again this year?
Like I would love to, but like it's not the important one. Like if the team does well, I can do like 3-3 and I would be happy, because it's like it's not like individual like competition anymore. So I think it's more important for the team to do well than for like solo results. So of course I would love to go like 6-0 like this year as well. It will be like more difficult because I think the Daughters of Cain are not as good right now as they were. Like maybe they weren't like super like crazy good last year, but I had like a list that was a counter to, for example, dragons or iron jaws. So I was able to be paired into them, and it was like for the benefit of the team. So basically, I could take on like I think I played like 3 dragons this like last year. Yeah,
Nightmare.
yeah. Yeah, and I think I won all of them, but it was like really like hard. But it was like for the benefit of the team because other armies didn't have to like deal with dragons.
Okay, yeah, that's good. And now there are no dragons here this year.
Mm. Yeah, there are no dragons. Like luckily, I hated dragons, so yeah.
Just going home with a picture of a dragon
Yeah,
on
it
a
was such a
dartboard.
stupid army, and it was like I think it was like even before the nerf, so they still could like move like
Yeah, they
freely
could.
like before the game. Yeah, yeah. So it was like it was crazy list. Like no, I think nobody enjoyed like playing against it. So.
I don't think people enjoy playing with it, if I'm honest. We've got a question from Tom in the chat, who's obviously the organizer for Worlds. He asks if you weren't playing Daughters of Cain at the event this year, what would be the other army that you would like to play?
Yeah, like I'm doing like the Slaanesh army.
Oh,
So it was like close between like Slaanesh and Daughters of Cain, because I'm doing like the Cult of Pleasure army. So that's basically army from Storm of Chaos campaign in like old fantasy battles. So those are like basically Daughters of Cain mixed with like Slaanesh.
mm.
So that's the army I'm building, and I was like, we were like really thinking hard about like between like Slaanesh and Daughters of Cain. So
Yeah, there's a lot of Slaanesh players armies at the event, and they do have a kind of like a similar archetype. How do you feel about the Slaanesh lists at the event?
yeah, I think like majority of them are great, but I think I prefer the ones with like Be'lakor than the Keeper of Secrets. I think the combo to fight twice with like Sieg Blades with Keeper of Secrets is kind of like greedy.
Mm,
You won't be able to get like the Lauhon to get Keeper close like quite often, I think,
mm,
because you got like no bonuses to cast. There are like a lot of anti-magic in the meta, etc. So basically, you can rely on spells anymore.
mm,
Basic, especially without like any bonuses. So like getting the keeper in the right place would be like I think difficult.
mm,
So I think the ones with the Bella core are like much better, because even if you don't have like your way sometimes, like Belacor buys you time, and with Slaanesh, if it buys you time, it buys you like a lot of depravity as well.
mm,
So Belacor enables you to like came back into the game or have like great matchups against, I think, Lumineth, for example, of Caradrons. So you have a chance against like the builds that like standard Slaanesh list would like struggle with.
mm,
But I think I love the archetype. It's like I think especially pretenders are like really cool. So
mm.
they do and the Slaanesh has a lot of tech to like basically counter a lot of stuff if played well. So that's why I love the army. Like it's not like as straight up like overpowered as Geats or Caradrons, but he has a lot of tools to like really get you in like the position to win.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because obviously, like, they haven't quite hit the singles tournament scene yet. Like, they have a bit. Corn maybe a little bit more. But it'll be interesting to see them at Worlds because there's quite a lot of Slaanesh armies at Worlds, and I think of all of the armies that are there, they're one of the armies that need pairing the best. Because, like you say, if they get hit early, that's a real problem for them. Like
Yeah,
in a
they're
lot.
like really fragile. So
Yeah. So you've gotta let them like level up, and that's going to be a problem. So it'll be interesting to see in the pairings how they end up doing and what their win rate is over the course of the weekend. So like the we're doing the logo tier list as always every year. Team Poland. You've got. Is this a fighting cat that you have on your like your logo?
No, we have like I think our like the logo that we submitted is the like eagle. We have the fighting cat still on Twitter though, so because we
Oh yeah,
yeah
I see the eagle. Yeah, I see
yeah
the eagle now.
because like the eagle is like our national like animal, so we have this in our like the flag and etc. So that we
Okay,
opted for the eagle and the like the old logo was like lynx because it's kind of the big cat that is like almost exclusively like living in Poland. It was like the close to extinct, and then like I think like some like government agencies like basically saved him like here in Poland. So
okay, but now
yeah,
you've got the big eagle.
yeah, we have the big eagle.
That's good. Who's doing your merch?
Our merch is like done by our like the sponsors, one of the shops.
Okay, perfect.
Uh, so yeah, so we have really cool like t-shirts. We also have like dices and etc. So
Do you have a? Do you like? Are you gonna have like a big community at home watching along? Like, have you got like a fan base like from the rest of the community?
yeah, for sure we will. Like a lot of people will be watching. Like people are like really interested in like if we do well or not. So a lot of people will be like following the scores or watching the stream etc. So for sure, yeah.
Okay, good. All right, good. That's going to be super fun. We're trying to make it so that there's a way to look at the other matches that we aren't streaming as well. Obviously, not watch, but at least maybe live track them. But as you know, that's a problem because you have to wait for the results to come in one at a time, which
Yeah,
is
and if like with so many like players and matches, it's like it's kind of the nightmare. Even to stream like one pairing is like a lot of work. So
especially if you're
yeah,
not very smart, which I'm not.
yeah,
So like, it's a real struggle, I promise. Okay, good. We've asked this of all the players. Obviously, you play in Serbia round one. Like Australia and England have the Ashes, so they have.
yeah,
You do know about that, right?
yeah. They had it like last year as well.
Perfect. Yeah, so they have that all the time. Is there a team or a nation that you guys are interested in developing a kind of year long rivalry with? Is there anyone in the sights or someone last year who you'd like to get back at?
I don't know. Like honestly, we haven't thought about this, but
Okay.
I think we would love to play like USA again
Okay.
because we had like really close match last year. I think they won by like 2 or 4 points, so it's basically were like 4 wins and 4 losses for us.
Oh
So
wow.
it was like really close, a really cool game. So a lot of our players like enjoyed like playing against USA.
Mm.
So it was like really fun matchup. So that was the one. We had also like the great matchup with Spain. So that was fun. It was our like last game, so we were all like very tired, but it was like really cool game as well to wrap up the championships. But honestly, we haven't thought about this, so maybe some kind of like rivalry will like arise like this year if we
Okay.
play like some of the teams again. I think for sure it will happen. So
Yeah, it's a fun little thing. Like it's quite fun. I've enjoyed watching all the teams start giving each other. There's definitely a lot more. A lot of the teams are a lot more active online this year compared to last year, which is really fun to see. And they're engaging with each other a bit more, which is also some fun to see as well. I'm enjoying that. I think.
yeah, I love this, and I think like I think it's because like a lot of players get to know each other
Mm.
last year because it was such a huge event, so much better than like all TTCs because it was like exclusive to Age of Sigmar. I think it was like really important. So people have had like a lot of time to bond and know each other better.
I
So
think
that's
that's
also like important thing, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thing as well. Yeah, definitely. Have you been able to like get any like? Did you pick up any tips from any of the teams last year? Was there like something you thought, oh, that's something really cool that we can add into what we do?
Not really. I
Uh,
don't think like we would like to have like more stuff on the ground. Like I think the USA had like the great team of like coaches and like uh, other guys who helped the team, the France as well. But unfortunately, we couldn't find like people who are willing to go there and not to play. because like Amsterdam is quite pricey and etc. And it's like quite a trip for people not to play. So I think, but I think it's important to have like not playing coach and like another like guys who help.
Mm.
But we are on our own this year, so.
Oh yeah, because you've got none of them. I mean, France last year had. I mean, the thing that I would bring if I was anyone is the French had the food guy with the carts.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful. Like, I feel like you need at least someone. Maybe there's someone local you could hire to just for the weekend, just drive around with a little cart.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So yeah.
All right. Well,
Maybe we'll hire someone. Yeah.
that would be fun. Well, listen, it's been a super pleasure having you on. If we wanted to follow along with Poland across the course of the event, is you have a Twitter, right? Are you guys going to be?
Yeah, we have official Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be quite busy, right? Do you think you're going to get time to update that?
Yeah, sure. Like I think like we'll update it between the games for sure, and maybe we'll have like someone who will just like post like stuff online, even from Poland. So because
That would be
we'll
good.
like communicate all the time, so we have our like Discord, etc. So it's not so hard to like put like results and updates online. If there is like someone not playing, of course, because if you are like playing there, you don't like you think you could have time, but you won't. Like basically, I know that like from the playing even the singles, like once you like hit like really important like matches, you won't like post online. So it's like
One of the things that my most recent event recently that I just held here, I just as round one started, like after everyone had deployed, I just kind of went round and was like, "Don't forget to take a photo of your match," and they were all like, "Oh, thank you," because everyone forgets, everyone wants to, but then
yeah,
everyone
exactly.
forgets to do it, right? Which I think is because you're just heads in the game, which makes a lot of sense. Which makes a lot of
Yeah, and
sense.
especially if the games are like tense and like complicated,
Yeah.
you won't remember like to take photos of what's happening. Like no
No.
chance. Like
No chance.
yeah.
Well, it's been absolutely lovely having you on. Thank you so much. Super appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you as well. Like I really appreciate like all what you are like doing. Like getting like extra exposure to worlds is like awesome. So
Oh, it's a great event. Like you say, we've already. This is third conversation where you've learned something about someone from last year. I think that you're a great Age of Sigmar player. I've seen you play several times. I think you're wonderful. So I'm super
thank you.
excited. I'm super excited for Poland this year, especially as you were like, "Oh, I was disappointed with fifth. We're going even harder this year." So that's pretty interesting. That's pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
we'll try for sure. So
Yeah, so that's really fun. So thank you so much for being on the show. Appreciate it. You got any shout outs before we go for today?
yeah, I think I would like to like shout out to like all the like players in Poland. And all the like the whole community because without them we wouldn't be there. So it's also like their like hard work to get us there.
Okay, we'll go Team Poland. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. Thank you so much, Peter. It's been lovely having you on, and we'll talk to you soon.